That's not a knife. That's a knife. Some of you younger people might not recognize that line, but look it up on YouTube. You'll find out what movie it's from. Anyway, what I have here today is the Worktuff Mountain Lion Generation 2. I don't know much about the Generation 1. I do know they added this swedge to give it a little bit finer point, but other than that, I don't know anything else about the Generation 1. This thing is a beast. It's probably the sharpest knife I've ever opened up out of a box. It came with a polished convex edge, just absolute hair flinging sharp. I've been playing with it a little bit, really enjoying it. It's got these perfectly contoured handles. I've got really big hands and it fits perfect for me. I even got a little bit of handle there. I can choke down for chopping and choke up to that choil. Gives the knife better balance for smaller tasks, which we're going to be putting it to the test today to see how it does. There's enough people on the internet beating these knives, Worktuff gear knives, through logs and stumps and field dressing cars and stuff with them that I don't need to do all that. I just want to see how well it fares doing regular tasks, making trap triggers, bow drill spindles, tent pegs, all the common stuff you'd use in a camping or survival situation. We'll do some chopping with it. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Probably the sharpest knife I've ever gotten out of a box. Has a polished convex edge. It's about 12.5 inches overall, 7-inch blade, 5-inch handle, about almost 1/4 inch thick. It's 0.23 inches thick. I am loving this thing. It comes with this excellent Kydex sheath that is huge, but it came with these attachments. You can change them different holes. You can have it vertical, you can have it horizontal. It's a baldric rig, so you can put it on like this. So it's not hanging on your leg, slapping your leg every time you're walking around. You can remove the belt loop and just use the baldric rig. It's very nice. It did not come with this ferro rod and the ferro rod holder. I put that on there. And if you ever get lost on a river, you can use it for a boat paddle, for canoeing. It is huge, but that fit is perfect. It snaps right in. There's no wiggle. Pops right in and out. Very secure. Absolutely love it. I'm also going to be testing the 1-tool option versus the 2-tool option. When I was younger, I always wanted a big knife that did everything. The older I got and the more experience I got, I realized that it's much easier to use a small knife and a hatchet or tomahawk to do all your tasks rather than one big bulky knife. But back then they didn't make really good knives, in my opinion, that were balanced perfectly and shaped like this. This is a cold steel trail hawk. It's one of my favorite hawks. It's small, lightweight, all together. This weighs 23 ounces. This knife and this hawk weigh 29 ounces altogether. This is the White River Knives Ursus Cub. It is a fantastic knife. I love it. It's probably the most perfect EDC knife I've ever seen. But basically, going to compare the two. We'll do some cutting, some chopping, make some trap triggers, whittling, feather sticks, see who comes out on top. Okay, what I have here are two nearly identical pieces of wood. One's just a little bit longer than the other one. But I'm going to split one with the tomahawk and one batoning it with the knife. You can see it good. That's no problem whatsoever. I can make kindling all day long. I have good control. I can make each piece exactly the size I want it. Yeah, that's nothing. Of course it doesn't hurt the knife at all. Now, let's see how fast we get through it with the tomahawk. Well, I hit the camera. Guess we got a knot in that one. Yeah, there's a knot there. Guess they aren't even pieces of wood after all. It's a big old knot. Yeah, I still feel that splitting wood, the tomahawk beats the knife for effort. It seemed like it took more effort to break it apart with this than it did with this. But now let's oh yeah. Choke up on it a little bit. Yep, does an excellent job doing feathers. Now, what if we need to put a point on something? Yep, cuts really well. It is heavy, so it goes through wood pretty easy. All right, now I'm gonna make a quick and dirty tent stake. So. Okay, that was easy. Here's a little trick when you make a tent stake. Just make a cross. And then cut off the 3 parts. And there, you got your tent stake. Just want to see if this will chop through that. Yeah, no problem. When you make a tent stake, always shave off the outside corners. It'll keep it from spreading out on you when you pound on it. And you can easily pound the tent stake in with this too. Does that, no problem. Let's just make a notch. Say I gotta make a trap trigger. that works just fine. But how much easier or harder is it with a small knife? Let's make another notch. I can tell you one thing, it's a lot easier using the small knife to do something like that. It feels like you have so much more control. But will the big knife do it? Yeah, no problem. It actually cuts pretty deep with a little bit less effort. This you got to push a little bit harder. But I'm not going to chop through this with this little knife. God, I hate to miss. It definitely works though. Alright, now for the test that what this knife's designed for, being able to chop. This is a piece of water oak. It's kind of hard. I'm just going to take 6 whacks at it with this and 6 whacks at it with this and see which one bites better. Yeah, maybe I'll do 10. I don't know if you can see that. I went in there about up to the bevel on the knife. You notice it did get stuck quite a bit. A little bit of effort getting it out. Now, do the same thing with the hog. Four. Well, it actually didn't do as well as the Worktuff. It's harder to control where you're hitting with it. It did bite deeper with each hit, but as you can tell, I couldn't control how close I was to my grooves. I kept hitting all over in there. I guess I got to give that one to the knife. Good job there, Worktuff. Yeah, not bad. It's actually kind of fun to use, and I'm not even using that lanyard, and the knife does not feel like it wants to come out of my hand. Obviously, for a survival knife, one of the tasks it should be able to do is build a shelter. And the easiest way to build a shelter is to take some small saplings and cut them, stick them in the ground and fold them over and make a shelter. So let's see how well this chops. And I could build a shelter all day with that. That is just fantastic. that edge is still perfect. Still taking hair right off my arm. That's fantastic. All right, I got some really heavy duty cardboard here. I'm going to do my usual 200 cuts through it and see how well the edge stays. And this is really heavy duty cardboard too. But I'm going to have a heck of a mess to clean up here. And you notice I'm going across the ribbing. If you cut straight down between the ribbing, it's not near as much cardboard. So this actually wears on the blade a lot faster. I might need more cardboard. Battery died in the camera while I was cutting up that cardboard, and it was a lot of work, so I wasn't going to refilm that, but it held its edge perfectly fine. It still takes the hair right off your arm from the belly to the choil. I can't say enough good about this. This is one hell of a knife. It's tough. You're not going to break this thing. It will do whatever chore you need it to do to save your life. But it's a wood processing beast. I think that's what it's designed for. My only complaints are if you're doing a lot of fine wood working tasks, whittling, cutting, stuff like that, it's very fatiguing in the hand. It's very heavy. I do like the thick spine. It makes doing a thumb assist really easy and comfortable. The only complaint that I really have is, if you look, top of the spine right there, it's got a hump. I have no idea why it's there. Like a thumb rest or something, you put your thumb behind it or on top of it. Don't know why, but what I found is where my hand rests, my thumb rests right on that hump. It makes it just a little bit less comfortable than it could be. I'd prefer it to just be flat across there, and I might modify that myself. But that's the only real complaint I have of it. If you need one tool that's going to save your life, this will do it. You can split wood, build shelter. I'm sure it'll work for, any task a knife is used for. I wouldn't want to clean a trout with it. I wouldn't want to butcher a chicken with it, but it'll do those. It'll do any task a small knife will do, just not as easily. Is it going to replace my two-tool option? Probably not. I still like my tomahawk and my smaller knife. This is way less fatiguing to sit there and use and carve. If you're doing a lot of wood processing, carving, whittling, making tools, bushcraft gadgets, stuff like that, this small knife is so much more comfortable and easier to use. But you can't split lumber with this. It'd be a lot harder to build a shelter with this, although you can do it. A small knife will do a task large knives will do. Just got to be super careful. But I still like it. I do love this knife though. It is phenomenal for what it is, and the quality of it is fantastic. But I don't really have a whole lot more to say about it without boring you guys to death. So thanks for coming back to Dad Bod Bushcraft. Got some more reviews coming up in the future, and hopefully get back to a little bit more of the bushcrafty stuff once I get back in the swing of making videos. All right, thanks for watching. All right, your Dad Bod Bushcraft tip for the day. Why do I like tomahawks better than hatchets? Hatchets are heavier, they actually process wood better, but they're not as useful because you can't take the head off of them. I like being able to take the head off so that I can use it as a tool. Use it like a knife, make feather sticks, skin game, scrape an animal hide. You can use the eye as an arrow or spear straightener. I think it's called an arrow crook. Heat up your arrow or your spear in the heat of the fire, and then you put through there and you can bend it to straighten it out. And it's got myriad of uses, and the most important thing is if you ever break your handle, you can use this to make a new handle. All right, that's your tip for the day. Thanks for watching Dad Bod Bushcraft. Have a great day.